Hi, I'm Olivier. This is my further oral activity. Today, we're looking at political cartoons. More specifically, we're going to look at an example of one, plus I'm going to show you how to make one of your own, offering a counter-argument to the one in the example. Okay. Well, let's get started. So the cartoon we're looking at today was one made by Chuck S.A., a conservative cartoonist for the newspaper, the Colorado Spring Gazette. The topic of the cartoon is the death penalty, or as some might call capital punishment. This is a really controversial subject in the US and around the world, and that's why many cartoonists have decided to use this topic, because they can represent their personal point of view on the subject. So, in the cartoon, what's going on? There's two prison guards or police officers dragging a prisoner down the floor who is about to get executed, and they're having a dialogue about life, and the prisoner is saying, "But you can't do this, life is sacred." Then the guard replies, "Exactly," assuming that he has killed someone before. Then you have a minister or a priest following them with the Bible, symbolizing religion, basically. One of the main components of a political cartoon is the use of symbols and metaphors to represent images other than what the image actually is. This can be done to represent events or people, or sometimes even abstract ideas that can hardly be represented by an image itself, like debt or the economy or some stuff like that. So in this cartoon, there are not too many symbols because the joke is mostly in the dialogue. However, you can take a look at the Bible, which represents religion, meaning that religion agrees with the death penalty as the priests or the ministers following them. Also, maybe the gas chamber, which represents an effective way of killing people. Not that I agree with that, or not that the government actually uses this. Another big component of political cartoons is the use of caricatures and stereotypes. They're both really different from each other. Caricatures, they're meant to single out a person or a group of people difference, making fun of them, while the stereotypes are used by the cartoonist to as an easy way to represent a group of people, generalizing them as a way to save time, because you don't have a lot of time to talk about a lot of stuff in your cartoon, in one single square of cartoon. So yes. Another way the cartoonist managed to save time and make the audience understand what's going on easily is by the use of labels. Both of those, stereotypes and labels, they're both present in this cartoon here. Stereotypes, well, you could have the police officers seen as stereotypes or prison guards, and maybe the minister carrying the Bible, that could be seen as one too, or the prisoner wearing the classic orange jumpsuit. You can't see the color of itself. And labels, there was labeled gas chamber, because without it you couldn't really guess. That's what it is. And yeah, the main purpose of political cartoons is not only to entertain the audience, because sometimes they can be pretty funny, but also try to inform them and persuade them about a particular point of view. The cartoonist will hopefully provide one or many valuable arguments defending his case, and this is done through the use of symbols and metaphors, but mostly irony. The cartoonist will try to put things in a new perspective for the audience, making them reflect on how ironic the whole situation really is, appealing to their sense of logic. The best political cartoons are often the simplest ones too, because politics and all those things can be sometimes so complicated and so difficult to understand that you need to take a step back to better understand the whole picture. And this is what political cartoons are all about. The simplicity is really present in the cartoon here by Chuck S.A. He is basically saying that the since life is sacred, the act of taking somebody else's life should only be punished by execution. This is a really conservative view. It's important to note, though, that conservatives believe that capital punishment or the death penalty should only be reserved to major offenses like murder or rape and should not be applied to minor ones. On the other hand, liberals, they think that the possibility to accuse someone wrongly is really present, therefore they shouldn't be taking any risk by killing people. So this is a really conservative view on the whole situation. However, mine tend to be on the more left of the political spectrum, as I believe that a decision over somebody's life should not be taken by anybody on the planet, and if anything should be reserved to the people up there in the sky. So yes, so now I'm gonna attempt to do a cartoon of my own in order to represent my own personal point of view on this situation. So let's see, let's get started then. So the way to start a political cartoon is to brainstorm about possible symbols you could use in it. So since my topic is the death penalty, I need to think about related symbols. So maybe that's pretty obvious, that, like the Grim Reaper, I mean, yeah. So that, the skeleton, that's a pretty good skeleton. Maybe the government of the United States. So let's make a flag that could represent the country. What else? Prisoners, inmates were about to get executed. Their jumpsuits, like seen in the example before. I'm not really good at drawing prisoners. Okay. Little number here. Okay. What else? Well, you get the point, right? So I think I can start with this using, I really like this one, the Grim Reaper, that could be cool. So now I just need to think of a comical situation involving those elements. I've got a pretty good one earlier on. It's about the Grim Reaper looking for a new job because he's not happy how the government took over his. And yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna make the Grim Reaper holding his resume, applying for a new job somewhere else, possibly at McDonald's. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Let's have the dialogues now. So the interviewer is gonna ask him why did he quit his old job. So I'm gonna make him say, what motivated you to quit your previous job? And he's gonna reply, I never wanted to work for the government. So yeah, so that's my cartoon. Dad is applying for a new job as he quit his old one because he didn't want to work for the government. I believe it is pretty clear. However, I could add labels maybe to make it simpler. This is supposed to be a resume. I could label it so resume. Also, this is someone working for the human resources. When applying for a job, you have an interview with those guys. So, human resources. So, this cartoon represents my own personal point of view on the situation. This is represented by the characters. Here, Dad having quitted the government because he didn't want to work for them. And in my opinion, I believe this reflects well that the decisions over somebody's life should not be taken by any types of government or anybody in the planet for this matter. So yes, and it really contrasts with the examples on the more conservative side. And this is it. Thank you for listening to my FOA. Bye-bye.